It's hot out.
It was 100 degrees on the thermometer coming in my car, but I heard it was like 125 in like the desert yesterday. It was like some insane number. Some guy, motorcycle group, one of the guys on the motorcycle died. Too hot.
That is really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it is safe to say summer is upon us.
It is definitely here. Maybe I should say hi to everybody.
Yes.
Or are we just talking to each other?
Well, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Father Knows Something. We've had a busy week. You were gone, it seems like forever. Oh, we haven't recorded in 2 weeks also because you were on your thing and we did the 2 back-to-back recordings. That's why it seems like it's been forever.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I went back to Minnesota for a friend's wedding, and then we came back to LA on the 4th of July to be sure that the ponies were safe with the fireworks. Fireworks, 4th of July, the heat. It's giving summer. Justin put this whole theme together today.
He did?
I have no idea what any of the stories entail, but
it's summer?
The theme is summer.
Wonderful. So let's hit it. I'm ready for number 1.
That was scary.
I'm ready for number 1.
It doesn't mean do it again. Hi, Jerry, Morgan, Justin, and all the other awesome guests on the podcast. I've been a listener of 2 Hot Takes almost since the beginning, and I really love both shows. But I've been torn about writing in because I don't really know what advice anyone could give me. This isn't a situation with a simple fix. It's more about dealing with my feelings. I'm writing because I need advice on how to get over the fact that I don't really have a dad. To give you a bit of background, my parents divorced when I was just 9 months old, and my mom moved back to her hometown in Cuba with me to live with her parents. I spent every summer with my dad's family, but not much with my dad himself. He was always living with a new woman, never really around for my sister, my half-sister on my dad's side, and me. When I was 10, my mom and I moved to Sweden. I vividly remember my dad saying goodbye, and thinking about it now, it makes me sad because it was the last time I felt like I had a dad. In Sweden, my mom dated a few men, but none were father figures to me. My mom never spoke ill of my dad, but I knew he hadn't treated her well. Later, she told me he was an alcoholic who never helped with me, which is why she left him. After moving to Sweden, contact with my dad was almost non-existent. When I was 14, we visited Cuba, and I had some contact with him thanks to a kind woman he was with at the time. But by our next visit, he was with another woman who didn't like my mom or me, and I only saw him twice in a whole month. Since then, I haven't been back to Cuba. My half-sister eventually moved to Sweden, got married, and had a son. My dad moved to Spain, and I hoped we might reconnect because of better internet access and a shorter travel distance. We had some calls, but they stopped when his wife moved to Spain, as she didn't want him talking to my mom. I know he acts as a father to her children, which hurts me even more. The moment I realized he didn't want to be my dad was last year. My sister and her husband offered to pay for his trip to my wedding. He initially agreed, but as the date approached, he hadn't booked anything or taken any vacation days. A month before the wedding, I told my sister to cancel it because I felt like he had no interest in being there for me. I don't know how to get over this feeling of being abandoned. It's even harder because my only father figure, my maternal granddad, passed away a year and a half before my wedding. I get so jealous when I see how other dads treat their children, wishing I had that growing up or even now. My husband and I are planning on having children soon, and I know he will be a great father, which is one of the reasons I fell for him. I'm scared I'll resent my children for having what I didn't, while also feeling incredibly happy that they will have a loving dad. How do I overcome these feelings of abandonment and jealousy? Sometimes I wish I had the courage to tell my dad how much he's hurt me, but I don't know if it will change anything.
I don't know if it would change anything with him. He seems so disconnected. He's, certainly not buying into the blessing and the gift that God gave him. That is you. I don't understand these dads that are out there that have children that don't know how to really enjoy their children and love them. It's beyond me. I know that, your biological dad and your relationship, I never wanted to get in the middle of whatever that relationship was. And your relationship is whatever he made of it, because you went into it as a child saying, I'm going to go see my dad, or I'm going to go to that house. And then on your own, you decided you didn't like to be there. You weren't getting the relationship that you were getting at home. So I really can't tell you what to do about those feelings. I mean, Morgan, you'd be better to be on the other side to know, how to help her, because you did grow up with a dad that you have a different relationship with, and you had two dads you had different relationships with, but I really can't tell you the OP, go tell him what your real feelings are. I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to, but maybe it might shake something or jar something loose, but he's controlled from whatever is going on in his life in the moment. And the fact that he's got one woman that he finally got married to, and, she's not into, his kids, and he's going to allow that, he's disconnected. I don't know how to connect him.
It really is one of those things you just have to come to terms with. And it's really tough even saying it, but you're not likely going to have a relationship with him unless he has some life-changing epiphany.
Yeah.
It just is what it is with him. You're not missing out on anything with him. He has basically proven he does not deserve your time, your energy, your love. He hasn't invested in you. He hasn't cared, no matter what woman he has in his life. That's no excuse to abandon your kid. So I think coming to terms with that fact that he isn't worthy of your time could help. At this point, I think you have nothing to lose. I would write a letter. I would tell him exactly how you feel, or call him on the phone and tell him exactly how you feel. You abandoned me. You were a shitty dad, blah, 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 whatever you want to add on there. You have nothing to lose. So air it out, tell your feelings, and maybe it inspires some change. But if it doesn't, I think you could really, benefit from finding other father figures for you, your life. Your maternal granddad passed, which is so sad because you did, really look up to him like a father figure. So I would say try to find ways to replace that.
Being a dad, it's more than just saying, hi, daughter. I mean, the commitment of the investment of your time and the relationship is really what it's all about. And there is no relationship here. I mean, you guys had a couple moments together, it seems like, in the spectrum of your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was it was one time when you were, 10, or one time when you were 14, and, and it's really non-existent, which is so sad.
Yeah.
But, there are people, I mean, I'm really glad that we do this show, because people are able to write in and say, I have something going on. Can I have an idea? And I welcome that, but it doesn't change the fact of having a dad that you can call up and say, Dad, come on over. Can you watch the horses? Dad, can you come over and do this? Dad, I'm coming over to have dinner with you. Dad, come have dinner. That's the normal relationship. It's
yeah. And so my ideal outcome would be to get over these feelings without having to say anything to him, as I genuinely don't believe it would make things better. I want to be a good mom to my future children and not envy their great relationship with their father.
Maybe counseling.
Ultimately, I just want to stop feeling like I'm missing something in my life. And I think that the support from a dad is something our writer is missing. There's certain benefits of having a father figure, but that doesn't need to be your dad. When it comes to your dad, you're not missing out on anything.
I would say counseling, because for the reason why you don't want to be bitter with your children, because they get to have the obvious benefit of, because you've made this, you've set this up, that they'd have a wonderful father. And And if you feel that there might be some bitterness, at least to have the understanding of talking to a professional to assist you with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's only going to help and give you some more clarity.
Yeah, therapy is amazing.
But I also would say definitely write the letter. Let them know that.
I'd tear him a new one.
And just get it all, vent it all.
Vent.
Let it all out.
Yeah, it could really help. It could really, really help.
But do it in a way that he's going to think about things when he's done, and then see what he does. And if he doesn't do anything, then you can really realize, write this thing off. He's just a waste of time.
Additional info, I have a close relationship with my mom and sister who've always been incredibly supportive. I've tried therapy to cope with these feelings, but I still struggle with the sense of abandonment. I have a strong support system of friends and mentors who encourage me, and I'm actively working on personal growth to overcome these emotions. However, the feeling of missing out on having a dad does persist. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm reaching out for advice.
Well, I wish I could take you in my arms and hug you, but that's not just being a dad. Dad is really being there all the time.
I get the feeling, that persisting feeling of missing out on having a dad, but you're not alone in that. And I think maybe that could also bring some peace. There's a lot of people who lose their dad's death. There's some people that never know their dad at all. There's, a lot of people that have bad relationships with their dads. So you're not alone in that. And I think a lot of listeners could have some other advice for you. That's what this is about, bringing people who are in it as well together to share their thoughts. But my one thing, it's if you are missing having a dad or a father figure, go find one. Start volunteering somewhere, get a job as a candy striper at an assisted living facility. You're in Sweden. Sweden has some of the greatest facilities for older adults. Go hang out.
Your mom,
find your people.
And your mom went through the same thing. Mm-hmm. She really did. And she really had no dad all the way up till in the same situation until she was an adult. And then he did make some attempt at the very end of his last years of his life to try to be involved. But, sometimes there's a lot of pain that came along with that within her.
No, she really, really struggled because he took on other people's kids, his new wife's kids, and treated them better than he treated any of his actual kids. So that was really, really tough for her. And I think she just learned to grow around it. It was just one of those things where it's it is what it is. I know I'm worthy of love. I have amazing support and friends. My life is enough.
I think that you got it right there. Don't take it as you personally. Mm-mm. Just really realize he just is in a different world. He's not amongst the world that really knows the value of what he had. And some people you just can't fix. I had a secretary who used to always say, "You can't fix stupid." There's a lot of truth to that, actually.
Yeah.
So we certainly wish you luck in what you're doing going forward, and it's going to be okay. It's just, I think you're right. It's just accepting that it's not you, it's just him, and don't take it personal. And just, we get dealt with shit that helps make us who we are, but we become better people once we understand, what we were dealt with and how to work through it.
For sure. And I will say that is something I had to come to terms with. And I'm a little bit different of a situation than you because I do have my dad, Jerry. But I did get to a point where for a while, I felt bad that I wasn't as close with my bio dad as my little sister was. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of an odd feeling. But then I got to a point where it's she does have her relationship, and that's good for her. I want her to be good. And I don't wish ill on my bio dad. I just genuinely I'm oatmeal. I'm so fine not having a relationship because it was just so hard and so exhausting and emotionally invested. And yet I was always the one reaching out. Even now, I'm always the one reaching out. So you get to a point where you just it feels better not wanting or missing, or it's an interesting feeling. But once you get there, like I'm trying to put words to it. And I think oatmeal is like the best way to put it. It's like, it's okay. But it's not French toast. It's not pancakes with fruit on top. You just kind of move past.
Pancakes are pretty good.
I know. Okay. If someone can put that into words for me, please do. Okay, moving along.
Number 2.
Hi, Morgan, Justin, and of course, Dad. So I'm 17 female, and sometimes I feel like I rely too much on my friends, and I don't enjoy being alone. I have a lot of friends and one close one, and even though I rationally think about it, I don't think any of them hate me, but sometimes I feel like they do, because we don't talk all that much or see each other that often. I didn't really realize how much I enjoyed seeing them frequently until recently. Summer just started, so I'm not seeing them every day, and my phone broke, so I have no way to talk to them. I had thought that I was okay being alone, and I liked my own company, but now I'm not sure. I just feel very bored, lonely, and like no one really likes me. I know my phone being broken is the only reason we haven't talked, and that they probably don't hate me, but I just feel like they don't like me because I don't have a way to communicate with them anytime I want. I think I just want to be more okay with being alone and not constantly thinking people don't like me just because we haven't spoken in the last couple of days.
I would say to keep yourself busy and not to keep dwelling in these thoughts is find something that you enjoy to do. Go do it. I mean, it might be as simple as, I don't know if you have water near you or if you live by the beach or you live by a lake, but maybe grabbing a book and just finding your own time by reading, going down to the lake, sit on that wonderful towel, read that book and get knee deep in it. Because you'll find time will just blow away in a great book.
Yeah, you got to find something to entertain yourself. And I do think it's really, really healthy to be alone and be okay being alone, like not relying on people 24/7 to engage you. And like, it's good to be alone. I also really relate to the feeling like your friends don't like you, or I don't know, lately I feel like I've been struggling with like the feeling of like, oh, I'm the least favorite friend. Like, I think that's very, very normal, especially like as a woman. Like, I think relationships with girls can be sometimes harder because we are so emotionally vested in each other's lives. So when you start to drift or you don't talk as much, you're quick to be like, ooh, I don't feel like I'm as close as we used to be, or, oh, I feel like they don't like me. So I would say those feelings are very normal, but you do have to engage yourself as well and find something you're passionate about to keep yourself busy this summer.
I mean, I find that, I can go forever and not talk to some friends and just be totally fine, or they can go time without talking to me and we're totally fine. I mean, we all have our own busy lives and we're not, dependent upon one another, but we do share our time together when we do have time. I mean, Jimmy, a friend of mine, took 3 months to go visit friends of his in another town. And he literally just packs up his car, drives 12 hours, and he disappears for 3 months. And let me tell you, that he's busy. We don't communicate when he's gone for those 3 months. Very, very little bit. And sometimes we'll go through a spurt. We communicate every day, twice a day, and sometimes nothing. I mean, but never do I ever think that, with the friends that I have, that when we're talking every day and then all of a sudden we can't talk every day, that there's anything wrong with me or wrong with them. It's just we get busy. So, enjoy that time that you have by yourself to do your own growth. The trick is just be comfortable being by yourself and becoming whole without worried about somebody to make you whole. And then that way, when you share time with somebody, it's not because you're dependent upon them, but you just get to enjoy them.
Absolutely.
So you have to get away from that insecurity.
And the confidence too, that like you're enough for people to be friends with you. You deserve good friends. Like, this is really a you're enough episode. It's turning out to be, but you gotta bide your time and grow. You're 17. Senior year likely coming up, so it's a great time to grow and really focus on yourself and
definitely find a couple hobbies.
Oh, yeah.
That might involve other people, might involve just being yourself. I know that I want to take up a hobby, and I was talking to Morgan about it. I want to go start dancing. I want to go start doing swing dancing.
You got to get on it. And
I don't need anybody to go do it. You go right to a dance studio, you join, you pay, and there's people there, and you start learning to dance, and it's kind of fun. And you meet friends, you meet people.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Absolutely. Okay, moving along. One of this week's partners is Zocdoc. There are some things in our lives that are okay to be a total crapshoot. Crapshoot. A risky or uncertain matter, like maybe getting influenced to buy that American flag sweater off TikTok Shop, or maybe being a little risky and trying a new menu item you were eyeing up. But you know what shouldn't be a total crapshoot? Finding a doctor. And because of Zocdoc, it won't be anymore. Zocdoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and choose the right one for your needs. And click to instantly book an appointment. I once had a pregnancy scare and I was able to get into my gynecologist within 24 hours. The peace of mind of having an appointment, not having to talk to someone on the phone to book it. And my favorite part, the reviews. You're not going to waste your time going to a doctor that is rude, doesn't care to help solve your problems. With Zocdoc, you can read real patient reviews so you know exactly what you're getting before you even walk in the door. I've been using Zocdoc since 2015 and I have not gone wrong with it yet. So if you're ready to try it for yourself, stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to Zocdoc.com/FKS to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/FKS. Zocdoc.com/FKS.
Number 3.
Hi, Dad, Morgan, and Justin. I've been a listener of Two Hot Takes and Father Knows since the beginning, and listening to your shows got me through a cross-country road trip with my entire family. But to get into why I'm really ready then, I'm going to try to keep it as short as I can, but it's kind of a long one. So I, 19 female, live with my sisters, my mom, my dad, and my paternal grandpa. My grandpa has been in and out of the hospital over the last few years due to getting his ears removed since skin cancer invaded his face, and he's also gotten hip replacements. The surgeries that he has gotten really aged him quickly, and his body stopped bouncing back as quick as it used to. My dad is the oldest of 5 siblings, and while this was going on, my dad and his siblings were all contributing to my grandpa's care as much as they could. Once he was home with us, though, they kind of went MIA and stopped helping with his care, even though he still has a feeding tube, can only walk with a walker, and can barely see and hear. This leaves my parents to be the only people taking care of him. Now, one thing about me and my grandpa is that we are super close. I'm literally his favorite grandkid. And during that time of him being in the hospital, I got even closer with him and even got my first tattoo for him. Being far away at school was really hard knowing he was in the hospital, not doing the greatest. Now that I am home from college for the summer, I see what toll it took on my family. Unlike me, my parents are not as fond of him. They refer to him as their 80-year-old toddler, and they fight with him daily. I do understand that he is kind of senile and definitely starts a lot of fights, but I can't help but get really upset when they fight. My parents give everything to make sure he has everything he needs, and he still calls them names and screams at them on a daily basis. My parents also yell at him back, and sometimes the fights get nasty. It usually ends with my grandpa saying he wishes he would just die already, and my parents mad for the rest of the day. Either way, both of them are in the wrong, but how do I stay close with my grandpa through all of this? How do I keep my grandpa as my best friend, given the way he talks to my parents? Ideal outcome, I just want to be okay with the fact that they don't get along and try to help where I can so these fights can be avoided. Additional info, my grandpa has been living without my grandma for over 25 years now due to cancer taking her way too early. This is why we live in the house with him.
You know, elderly illness is something I'll never understand why it was created by the universe. I don't know if it's done so when they finally pass two things. They're ready for them they are ready themselves to go to the other side, and it also allows the survivors to understand that it's best that they got to go to the other side. All you can really do is, as long as he can think and he still has his mind, just let him know you love him and that you understand that things are tough and frustrating for what he has to go through. And you just want to have a good time as much as you can and help him as much as you can. And, we all realize that it's tough, and let's just try to have the most patience as we can with all of us, because we all want to do the healthiest thing and the best thing emotionally and physically for you, Grandpa, and for ourselves. We all want to get along. We love each other. And keep pressing that part, I would say. It's just we love each other, and let's just, try to get through the frustration, because we know it's not easy for you. And I think that's all you can do. You got anything in your thoughts?
No, I think you covered it, but just know, it's not your job to be the middleman. Don't feel like you need to be the peacekeeper and step in between these fights.
Yeah, I wasn't even suggesting that.
No, and I'm just making it crystal clear. Love your parents, try to help where you can and make their life easier. Love your grandpa, try to get him engaged and busy, and maybe, keeping him out of the house, take him for walks. It sounds like your family has been a really close, tight quarters. He's healing. Your mom and dad are struggling to take care of him alone without the help of your dad's siblings. It's just a lot. So I think if you can find ways to give reprieve and, take him on a little field trip to Target and do whatever you can that he's able to do and, has the energy for, but try to get him out and about, because that relief will be felt by both parties. Mm-hmm. And I think it could just help detension everything.
Yeah. And it might get him away from just waiting to die.
I mean, he's got to be engaged. If he's sitting there all day in a chair watching a TV, that's not living life. That's going to make anyone feel down in the dumps. And mm-hmm. I don't even want to repeat what he said. It's just dark.
I really just think that it might be an idea if you can find a public pool that he can go do some pool exercises. I have a friend that's 87 years old, and he's in the pool an hour and a half every day with his healthcare worker, mm-hmm. walking just in the pool. And it helps him because of just that motion. So it's got to help him mentally as well. I mean, he certainly, lives in pain with other things going on in his life. But let me tell you, I think he enjoys it. And your grandpa might enjoy that too if you take that time with him and get him out of the house, get him to a Y or some place where there is a pool that you can use, and get him active.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's really got to start moving. I think that would be the most amazing goal you could have this summer while mm-hmm. you're on your break from college is what adventures can I make possible for grandpa this summer? Mm-hmm. I don't know, petting zoos, libraries, pools, anything free, public events, music. I know you said he's, hard of hearing now and can barely hear, but there's a lot of places that have vests for people with disabilities where they can feel the vibrations. Mm-hmm. Get him close to the speakers. You wear earplugs, he'll feel the vibration. There's stuff you can do.
They have those new hearing aids that work on your bone. They work in they actually resonate into the bone of your mm-hmm. of your skull, so you can help you hear. I mean, there's things that are out there, but I think the engaging of getting out of the house and especially if he's mentally really there, that he can, talk to you and carry conversations. Because my friend, he's definitely all there. He just lives in pain and discomfort. So putting him in that pool, really, it helps. I watch it.
Try a pool. Try something. But just enjoy the time you have and have a good summer. Try to keep him busy and yourself.
Go outside and bring a deck of cards and play gin with them.
A puzzle. Anything.
Keep their mind going.
Yeah. Okay. Moving along. Another one of this week's partners is Dipsea. I feel like everyone's talking about ACOTAR and romance novels, and it's finally okay to admit you like romance novels. And if you're ready to now try some spicy audio instead of actually having to read, Dipsea is ready for you. Dipsea is an app full of hundreds of short, spicy audio stories, and they've got it all. I'm watching House of the Dragon right now, and I wanted something on Dipsea that was going to be along those lines. Guess what? They got it. Any fantasy you could think of, Dipsea is going to have on there. And new content is released every week, so you can find your favorites, but you're also never going to get bored. Everyone needs a little me time, whether that's truly just yourself, maybe you bring out a toy, maybe it's a little bit of the amp up to get you in the mood before you see your partner. Whatever you're looking for, relax, enjoy yourself with Dipsea. For listeners of the show, Dipsea is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipseastories.com/FKS. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to dipseastories.com/FKS. dipseastories.com/FKS.
We're going to be moving now to number 4.
Number 4. Hi, Jerry, Morgan, and Justin. I, female 19, have been listening to both podcasts for years now and find so much comfort in listening to you all. So on to my problems. I just finished my first year of college at University of Minnesota, Duluth.
She's at our hometown.
The Bulldogs. My home life while living with my parents isn't exactly great. We all get along, mother, father, and younger sister, but I have been pointed out as the black sheep, and as the oldest, a lot of disappointment is put on me for not being perfect. My mother is also someone who works to manipulate me and my father. This information is important to my issue. In college, I got my first taste of what my life really could be like without all of the expectations, and I did really well there. I made a ton of really important friends and learned a lot when it came to learning my personal boundaries. Then the school year ended, and I had to move back home.
Back in hell.
I've been home for a month, and none of my friends from college or from high school have reached out to me or hung out with me since I've gotten back, and my mental health has really declined. At home, I am very isolated from everyone, and I'm working over the summer. From past friendships, I know that I am the friend that reaches out and isn't reached out to. And normally I'm okay with it. But being so cut off from everyone and being stuck home with my family has put a lot of stress on me and made my mental health decline pretty rapidly. I haven't hung out with a single friend outside of work and haven't really spoken to anyone either. I did try early in the month to keep up communication, but I am just exhausted from being neglected by my friends. I spend every day either working or at home alone, as everyone else is either at school or work. So I'm forced to sit alone, and all I do is cry and sleep to try to cope with the loneliness. I've tried to reach out, but recently my calls go unanswered, or my texts are left undelivered for a few days. I'm so desperate for someone to talk to, and for somebody to reach out to me for once, instead of me reaching out to them. Please give me all the advice you can think of. I'm desperate for anything at this point. Love you all.
Well, the most important thing that you have to do is develop self and not worry about everybody else. And focus on yourself and the things that you're doing, and not take it personal that they are not reaching out or they are busy, because, sometimes summers change a lot of people. They have their own little agendas that they're doing, or their own things that they have to get accomplished. So find new friends. If friends are that important that you really want to engage, reach out in different areas that you normally wouldn't be. In Duluth, she's not in Duluth because she's back home, wherever home might be.
Yeah, no mention of where that is.
But you did learn one thing. Being away from home was a growing experience for you.
Mm-hmm.
You found your own people. You found your own thing. So you know how to meet people and how to meet friends. So I would just continue on doing things on yourself. And if you want to go out and try different places to meet people, if it's going to yoga or bringing something else into your life that's not in your life today. And you will meet some other people.
Yeah, I think it's time to put yourself out there a bit more. It's hard because I think summer brings out a lot of feelings of loneliness, especially if you're a school-aged person. Like when you're an adult, I don't personally, at least, I don't really notice summer like changing my life in a big way.
Yeah, you're in a different world today.
Yeah, but in college, summer off, if you're not connected or hanging out with people, you can feel like shit. You know, this is kind of like the story we just read before this. It's tough on your mental health, and to feel alone or to feel like you're the least favorite friend or to feel like you're always putting the effort out there is exhausting. You know, I don't know if anyone truly has it easy in the world of friends. I myself have friendship struggles right now, even. Like it's just life is always changing its demand on each person. And none of us are psychic. And so, it's a tug of war of like, I'm so busy in my life and I don't have time for friends. And friends maybe want time from you and vice versa, right? So maybe you're reaching out to all these people, but they're even busier. Like they don't have time to talk. They're working. They're, doing all of these things. So it's not personal, but then it feels personal. Blah, 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 blah. Where do you go from here? Your mental health is struggling. You got to find stuff to do. Whether that's a club. I don't care if there's a paddleboarding club. I don't care if there's a boat race club and you got to build a boat and go join the group. A walking club, a running club, any sort of summer club. Bingo. There's bingo at a bunch of breweries. Duluth, if you're going up to Wild State Cider, they've got events every night of the week, basically. Drag bingo, karaoke, trivia, drag trivia. Like there's so many things to do if you put your effort into finding them.
You came home from school during the summer, you'd ride the horses. You were outside dealing with horses. That was your passion.
Yeah.
I mean, I one time went down to an airport and learned to fly, changed my life. And there are young people that go down to the airport, they get a job down there because they like it. And next thing you know is they're learning to fly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can certainly get engaged with activity that will stimulate you, your brain, your body, and will encourage new friends. I mean, when I go to the airport, I have a whole new group of friends that I'm meeting now. It happens. So you got to just put yourself in environments that might be different than the environment that you're used to going into, and it will engage you.
Yeah, I mean, it's really challenging making friends, but by putting yourself in different environments and getting involved, it does make it that much easier. And you'll find people that are probably on your level. Like they'll text you back, they'll reach out to you. There are people out there that will be on that level, but you also have to realize life does ebb and flow, and you can't take it super personal sometimes.
Yeah, I would look and kind of create a bucket list of things you want to do in your life and say, these are things I'd like to do in my life. And then maybe there's an item there that you can actually start and engage in to do that in your life, that item.
Yeah. I saw this one idea quite some time ago on TikTok that I've really loved, but it's rejection therapy.
Really?
That's what they call it. But essentially, you make a list of things you want to do, similar to a bucket list, and you go start doing them. Or like, even it could be a random thing. You're driving by an airport and you walk up to the airport and you say, hey, is there anyone that can take me on a flight? Like a small airport. This is the video I saw. This is the example. She went up to a small little airport in her town, her local town, went there and was like, hey, is there anyone I could go flying with today? And he goes, well, no, not today, but I can show you some of the planes. Took her out, showed her some of the planes. And he goes, well, if you want to come up tomorrow, I'll take you up tomorrow. She got to go flying. So try stuff. Make a list of things you want to do and start adventuring.
I think so. Let us know how you do. And I'm sure that read the comments, there'll be a lot of good comments on this one.
I think a lot of people are in the same boat, especially this time of year. Friends, it's, love them. We need them. But friends can be hard sometimes.
So we're going to go to number 5.
Number 5. Hi, Father Knows Something gang. I hope you are all well. I'm writing in today for some advice because at the moment, there are not many people I feel I can talk to without annoying them or being too connected to the situation and having biases. So I'm a college student, still living at home and commuting to my school. Currently, I am not able to accept any loans or aid for school and have to pay completely out of pocket. It's been doable for me for the last 3 years, but I'm running low on savings and funds. Last summer, I fulfilled one of my childhood dreams and worked at a summer camp as a counselor. It was an amazing experience that while yes, there were some bumps in the road, I look back on the overall experience with fondness. I knew going into this upcoming summer that I would probably want to go back. My parents, on the other hand, urged me to look elsewhere for summer experiences. I had applied for a nursing internship through one of the local hospitals in my area to work at, as they had a program for student nurses, and ultimately I was turned down for the opportunity. After being denied, I decided to reach out to my camp director and reapply this summer. Well, I've been offered a huge promotion at the camp. I am extremely proud of myself because I did not even apply for this position. I knew I had to consider my financial situation and whether going back would even make sense for me, knowing that I have to pay for school out of pocket. But I've calculated it all out, and I believe my next semester will be doable if I decide to return. My parents have told me numerous times that they don't want me to go back. They haven't even told me once that they're proud of me for getting this huge promotion I didn't even apply for. They're more focused on the fact that if I leave, I won't be around for our dog, who is basically now my dog. I don't know how to do what makes me happy and go back to camp while also being okay with the fact that if I go to camp, I will be disappointing them and making them angry. I know if I stay home this summer, I will resent them. But if I go back to camp, I will be faced with their disappointment for the time leading up to camp and after I come home. Ideal outcome, to be okay with disappointing my parents / not doing what they want.
I have a nephew, and he went to law school, very prominent law school. Came out of law school, and they got a big job offer. Took the big job offer. And then he decided to make some life changes. So he came to me and he said, Uncle Jerry, I'm going to leave my high-paying job, and I'm going to go work for the Department of Justice for a third of what I'm making now. What do you think? And I looked at it as a parent and said, are you out of your fucking mind? So kind of put your parents in that one. Are you out of your mind going back to camp? Or, may not be the right thing in our mind. He went to the DOJ, took the job, and he grew. He found his own wings. He found something he loved, and it changed his life. And yes, he never left law, but he changed the way he practiced. He changed the kind of jobs he's got, and he's had a wonderful life and future, and he loves what he does. My answer to you is, this is part of your growth pattern. Follow your own heart and go do this job. We have no idea where it will take you. Every job is meaningful. Everything that you do helps form who you are and lead you to what you love. Work is only good if you love it. And if you love doing this and it's going to take you to another direction because you're finding something that you like, it helps make you who you are. So there's no disappointment. When you're happy, success is that you're happy in what you're doing. That is success. And I think sometimes parents don't realize what success is. And maybe this will help. And I'm sure your parents mean well, and they're trying to get you rounded to see different things and have those life experiences. But you will see new things in this job, and you will have new experiences. So life is long. It's a long, long thing. And I'm telling you that honestly. So enjoy it. Enjoy everything that you do. And if you don't enjoy it, don't do it.
Absolutely. I mean, you also have to ask yourself, whose life is this?
Mm-hmm.
Who has to live this life? Who has to be happy with this life? You, not your fucking parents. Your parents are never going to love 100% of the things you do, no matter how perfect they are. no matter how great of a kid you are, no matter how much you succeed in life, there's some people's parents that maybe they are. Maybe they could shit on toast and their parents would be like, you did great, sweetie. You did really well. But I think that it's human to, want certain things for your kids and, they're not doing exactly what I would do. And they get upset or they, whatever. That's okay. You are a free individual, a thought thinker. You have to live your life. And you didn't get the hospital internship. So what do they want you to do? Sit around all summer and twiddle your fucking thumbs?
Dog sit.
Go take the job. You need the money for school. This is your future.
And the dog will be fine with your parents.
The dog will be fine. This was a family dog. It was their decision as well to get the dog. You don't need to be the number one babysitter. Like, life will go on. Take the camp job. Get the experience. I mean, the promotion could include working with the camp nurse. There you go. There's a great experience for your nursing career.
She's off to Camp Granada.
Who knows what? But it's frustrating because it's like, you got to just be okay with disappointing your parents. You got it.
Is that really?
It's not even like, to me, I'm sitting here kind of laughing because I'm like, damn, you got a summer job, you got a promotion, and it's like, you're still disappointing them. Which in my head, I'm like, you're doing everything right. And yet here you are questioning if you should take this job. Like, that's how much they're guilt tripping you right now. It's baffling, and they should be proud. That would be the correct response.
I think that you say, I was offered 2 jobs. Camp Granada is one of them.
I don't know what that reference is.
You don't?
No.
Hello, mudder. Hello, fada.
Oh, the Fleas and Ticks song?
Here we are at Camp Granada.
No.
Camp is very entertaining. And they say, well, have some fun when it stops raining. You never heard that one?
I only know the dog tick commercial version.
I don't know that one.
Fleas and ticks really bother.
You made me mess my whole thought up. But here we go back to what you should tell your parents, that you were offered a job at Area 51, but I will be working with radiation. So maybe should I think about that one?
I don't know how that would go over if they don't even want you going to camp.
So they'll say, take the camp job.
I don't know. It's goofy, but I think moral of the story here is get out, go to camp.
Live your life.
Live your life. You are not always, and I think this is like, I hate thinking this way. I have anxiety about it, but like, your parents are not always going to be here. I struggle with this reality as well. And you have to create a life that you're happy with and that you love. And it's just, you got to do you.
I'm a parent, and I'm going to tell you that I enjoy all the little nuances that my kids bring me when they try new things. And look, they've all succeeded in their own way. And that's all you want. And the biggest success is you see them happy, building their lives, and it has nothing to do with anything that I directed them to do. They did it on their own. Everything they're doing, I might have been there to support a little bit, to give them, the kick and say, hey, time to get up and go to school this morning, or you got to go do something. But they found their way, and they've blown me away, and you will blow your parents away. Because you will succeed. You will make something of yourself, and whatever that is. And that's what matters. You certainly have the drive to go do something. And that is the success, is that you have the drive. So go do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And get yourself a cake to celebrate disappointing your parents.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
So are we going to do number 6 or
We are going to do number 6 today.
Whoa, number. Look at this. I got to use the 2-hand thing. 6.
Hello, Jerry Morgan and Justin. I'm in a midlife friend situation. I am 42, married, and about 15 years ago, met the best neighbors. We'll call them Jess and Max.
Love them.
They had kids our kids' age, and we bonded. We would celebrate holidays, events, have barbecues on the weekends, etc. As most couples know, it's hard to find a couple who both you and your spouse connect with together, And these guys were the ones. Both of our families recently relocated to different states. We visited them last summer, and I could tell something was a little bit off, but I chalked it up to Jess being tired from already hosting company the week before. About a month later, we learned they were getting a divorce. This shocked us, but at the same time, it didn't. As we could see, they had different priorities in life and were probably distracted while raising kids to address the issues. Within a month, Max immediately got a new girlfriend and is now engaged. Mind you, they aren't even divorced yet, and it's been 9 months. We love both of these people. Although we disagree with what he is doing, we are invited to his wedding, and I am worried about hurting Jess, who is also my friend. But we do still care for him too and want to maintain a relationship. I've never been through this, and most divorced people I know had a solid side that they picked. Do you have any advice?
Yes.
That's quick. What is it?
My advice to you is that every friend are independent of each other. And if you're a friend of his and he has not disrespected you and you wish to be a friend with him because you've always enjoyed who he is, then be that friend. Now, he may prove out that, look, he may have known this woman. We may find out later that he cheated on his wife, that their relationship was whatever it was. But you got to remember something. There are different dynamics in relationships that causes these things to happen. And that's way beyond us as the people that are friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, rather than being judgmental on this, I think you just let the friendship see where they roll. And you have to let Jess know that as much as I love you, I do. We're not picking sides in this thing. You guys had your own dynamic. You guys made a choice to go your separate ways. We are going to continue being supportive to each one of you and being friends to each one of you. We're not going to go to the other one and talk about you to them. That's not part of our dynamic. We're not going to criticize you. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to have a conversation that, what's he doing or, what is she doing? You guys want to know about each other? The answer is go call them and find out what they're doing. But leave us out of being in the middle. We're your friend. We're glad to go enjoy you. We're glad to meet your new wife. We're glad to meet your new husband. Things are going to migrate, and that's just life. So that is my thought. Don't let people control who you can be your friends with. I had a girlfriend I broke up with, and she's trying to control because I met people through her who my friends can be or cannot be. And it makes me crazy because to me, that's manipulation. And I am friends. I was very good friends with some of them. And one of them I'm not friends with because they've chosen to not be my friend. And it's like, wow. And one day it will change. But I feel so disappointed that friendship was a conditional friendship on me being with her. It makes me angry.
It's sad, but it's also not necessarily surprising. I think your situation is a little different because if you have two people that are really close friends and you come in and you meet that from dating her, not surprising, but I think with this one, it is really tough because you met them both as two couples together.
Mm-hmm.
Him dating someone a month after announcing divorce and getting engaged before even being divorced and all of this stuff. Timeline, it is fishy. If I were you, I would talk to Jess. I would, as a friend, give her the respect of saying, hey, I was invited to Max's wedding. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but, we're friends with him too. We met you both at the same time. And I want to see if you're okay with it. I just want to talk and make sure that I don't unintentionally hurt you because I do love you and appreciate our friendship.
I don't want you going to that wedding. You need to pick a friend.
I understand why you're hurt, upset, but I would like to maintain my relationship with both of you. And I think I should go to the wedding. But your friend during this conversation could tell you, Max was having an affair with her. And
we are going to hear a lot of shit. My answer is, that's a dynamic I don't want to get involved in. It's that dynamic doesn't involve me.
And some people might have that mentality. Me, I would probably be like, oh, well, that's really unfortunate Max did that. Yeah, I don't really want to support him on that day then. Like if I were to find out that information, I'd be like, I'm fine skipping. Let Max do what he wants. I'll maintain the friendship, but I'm not going to go to the wedding.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, everyone has their own dynamic.
Everyone has their thing, but that also might not be the case here. This could have been kosher. This could have been all good, fine and dandy.
You know,
I would give your friend the respect of that conversation before going.
I had a family member that died, and I didn't go to that funeral. I had a personal issue with the behavior of that individual that I found out during life. And I chose to believe it. And I just said, you know something? I have no respect for that individual, and I'm not going to be a part of it. But I made that choice because of my own dynamic. No one controlled me on that one. I said myself, I'm not going to that guy's funeral. But I made that decision. No one made me make that decision.
Yeah. And just get all the details. I mean, you don't necessarily know if there was an affair or anything fishy, but my spidey senses are kind of, alarm bells are ringing with.
Oh no, there was definitely a relationship or an affair. The reason why we don't know what was going on in that marriage to change that whole dynamic.
Could have been open, and then,
we just don't know the dynamics.
We don't, but have the conversation, because if it were me in that, or imagine you and your husband were the ones that split and Max and Jess were trying to maintain friends with both of you, like, you would appreciate a conversation. That's honesty. That's what friends do.
Yes.
It's honesty. Not, the blindsiding and things honesty. Like that. So have a convo. I think it could go well.
I appreciate that. I like maturity.
Yeah.
And I like honesty, where we could say, hey, this doesn't affect anything and it's not against you. And I would encourage you to find good conversation and people that care. And why would you not wish the same for me?
Yeah. Ideal outcome to maintain a relationship with both Jess and Max. Advice on when the time comes on how to act around his new partner without resentment.
They have done nothing to you.
That last line, though, it's interesting, friends, isn't it? What do you know, writer? What do you know? Why would you be resentful?
Because she married her best friend's husband.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know.
We've talked a lot about friendships this episode. This has been an episode of self-love and friendships. And sometimes it's okay to let friendships go as well if they just don't work anymore. Just putting that out there.
Okay.
In case Max just isn't that great.
We don't know.
But thank you guys so much for being here. Another episode. This was good. We got 6 today.
Yes. You see, we do pay attention to those comments. We do.
Slowly but surely, we might get a little longer. If the show grows more, if you guys share it a little bit and there's more people listening, I think.
And hit the like button.
Like, subscribe, do all the things. But we could get a little longer.
And by the way, we could double our subscribers if the 50% that listen to us, watches weekly, would just hit the button, subscribe.
Do you guys feel like he's a broken record now about the 50%?
But they're not following the lead.
Hit the button. But other than that, bye. Enjoy your nice summer night or day wherever you are.
And we'll see you on Patreon, and we also will see you on group if you chime in. I love when you come to group.
Unless you're in Australia and it's winter. I'm really jealous of you if it's winter. I hate summer.
I love summer.
Hate summer. I got the little splash pad out for the horses today. I found one at TJ Maxx. They hated it.
What happened with you had a pool, like a little.
Yeah, I bought them a little kiddie pool too. They didn't like that.
That was looked like it was just in the way. I couldn't figure that one out.
I thought they would go play in it and like splash around, but they didn't like it. So I keep buying horse toys and things to keep them busy. The thing that's been a hit so far is the carrot ball. You shove carrots in the ball. They love that.
I'm kind of wondering why you don't put them in that beautiful horse hauler you have and go to the beach with them.
One of these days.
And go take them through the water at the beach.
One of these days.
What are you waiting for?
For the one horse to get over his weird UTI I don't know.
It was 100 degrees out today.
I know. What if a shark got the horse though?
I don't think a shark's going to get the horse. They don't go that deep.
That'd be crazy. Okay. Bye guys.
Bye.